It has been just under 3 weeks since Donald Trump's social media platform, Truth Social, was listed on NASDAQ. It has been a wild ride. The stock, trading under the ticker DJT, shot up to nearly $80 during in-day trading on its opening day. However, since it has fallen by more than half, dipping to below $30 during Friday's trading, it ended the week another 20% lower from the week before. Former U.S. President Trump is the largest shareholder of the app, owning nearly 60% of its stock. Well, some say that share price is still high, given that it gives Truth Social a valuation in the billions of dollars. But either way, the falling share price has hit Trump's net worth, at least on paper, adding to his legal troubles. Now, for more on all this, we're joined by Paul Pelletier. Did I say that correctly, Paul?
You did, Sean. Thank you.
He's an attorney and former federal prosecutor and law professor at the George Washington University School of Law. Paul, again, thanks very much for coming in. Let's talk about the reasons behind the fluctuations behind the Trump media stock price.
Yeah, well, this is not unique for a social media stock that is basically driven by the personality of an individual. As we all know, the company had not performed very well, at least the social media company not performed very well over the past year. They had revenues of about 5 million and losses of about 60 million. So it wasn't like it was a stock or a company that was performing very well before then. So this is not unusual. There's a lot of hype when the stock first comes to market, and the fact that they've lost more than 50% in market cap, I would say, is not very unusual at all.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Trump has filed some legal action behind some of the other investors. So who are buying shares in this stock?
Well, that's a good question. You know, you have speculators, people who are speculating that the price is going to go up. You have speculators, or what we call traders, that are betting on the stock going down, short sellers. You have those people buying or borrowing the stock. And then you have people who just believe in Donald Trump, and they're going to be buying the stock. So you have an array of people buying the stock. I would bet there's not a lot of Wall Street investors who care about the liquidity of their portfolio that are purchasing this stock right now.
Yeah, do you think that that Trump just threw this out there hoping that his fanatical fan base was going to jump in and start buying some shares?
Well, I think of course that was part of the mix, but at the end of the day, look what happened. He took a company that virtually had no book value, maybe in the hundreds of millions at the time it went public. And they went public and it went like that. It went from almost valued at nothing to worth $9 billion in a day. Now, of course, it's not worth that now today, but at the end of the day, even if it's worth today $5 billion, that's a lot more than the value of it before he went public. So yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of bets and gambles going on there, but there was not a lot of downside for Donald Trump to not go public with this company. Of course, he owns 60% of this company.
Yeah.
So that's a large amount to own.
Okay, Paul, well, let's talk about the volatility of all this and really what it is worth, because by all indications, this is adversely impacting Trump's finances.
Well, it's worth what the share price says it's worth. So right now, it's worth about $4.5 billion. Now, it is going, because it's a personality-driven stock, it's going to fluctuate tremendously over time. If, for instance, the trial doesn't go well for Donald Trump next week and he gets convicted, you can expect that the share price in that stock will drop dramatically. Sure. So it is going to have some very large fluctuations. But like any other stock, it's worth what people pay for it.
Yeah, until they.
That's just a fact.
But what we're talking about is on paper. If people try to cash in for this right now, I think it'd be dramatically different. But some analysts are calling this Trump media a meme stock, a stock that suddenly has become viral and it's hyped up by retail investors online. Do you think this is a meme stock, or is that even important?
Well, it's important if you're an investor, right? You want to know if you're investing in a stock, and you call it a meme stock. I call it a personality-driven stock, which people are just getting involved because it's popular today. So the fundamentals that people just look at usually when they're buying stock, and of course all companies are different, but the fundamentals that they look at typically are the price to earnings ratio. In this case, we're not even close to evaluating that. So to the extent people call it a meme stock, you can actually call it that. I think that from my perspective, the problem with this stock is that because Trump owns 60% of it, that if he were ever to get elected as president again, then it would be a real way to affect or influence him because he has so much of the stock value to himself.